want to welcome you to the Ask Jeff YouTube channel. Here's today's question. I can't get past in the book of Genesis without wondering how a God with almighty powers would create an angel that would end up rebelling against him and the creative order. I can't reconcile that. Well, that's a really good question. It goes all the way back to the creation of God, the creation of everything that is, according to multiple passages in the Bible, at his fingertips, and particularly in the book of John chapter 1, from his voice. And the issue is, why or how could he create everything the way he did, and yet, from our perspective, leave, quote, room for error? Well, I think the answer is actually found in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 28. Alongside Isaiah, chapter 14, we have these prophetic passages that regard or speak to the fall of Satan. Now, let me go ahead and be completely upfront. Both of these passages are dealing with contemporary characters at the time, but they're alluding to the fall of Satan as an illustration of what is happening. Much like when you and I give a speech, or in my case, give a sermon, you'll tell a story about weeks, months, years ago to illustrate a point. Kind of the same thing is happening in those two respective passages. Well, that being said, there in Ezekiel chapter 28, it said that, quote, iniquity was found within him. And that doesn't mean that God created him to mess up. What that means is, rather than continuing to do what God called him to be and do, he pulled from that and, quote, went his own way. I think really the critical question we have to address isn't the fact of why would God create room for error, but more importantly, the travesty of a creation that has not just the ability, but at times the desire to rebel against its own creator. Again, this isn't God creating room for error. What we see is we see God creating a creation that he desires to respond to him. Allow me to finish this question with my definition of worship. What does it mean when we worship? Don't think just singing. Think responding to God properly, okay? It is our willful response to a self-revealing God. He designed the creative order, even Lucifer and you and I, to worship him. Our willful response. In that Isaiah chapter 14 passage, 5 times, Lucifer said, I will do something contrary to the Lord. Again, not created to mess things up or even with room to do so, but with the desire to willingly respond to his creator. Great question. If you have one, send it to AskJeff.net. Maybe your question will be tomorrow's. Thanks for being a part of today's daily question. Now, we answer a question each and every day. Please feel free to submit a new question at AskJeff.net. We may not have gotten to yours today, but we eventually will continue to be a part of this. Subscribe so you don't miss out on a question every day.